Welcome to Texarkana Gameday Sports Talk featuring The Couch. Got my man Donnie Kelly to my left, Mondo to my right, Frank Sides at the end, and I'm Morgan Smith. And we wanted to start this show right before football season, keep everybody, up on what's going on in the area and local, college level, professional level sports. And man, it's good to see you guys.
Yeah, it's good to be here.
Yeah, man, I hadn't seen you in a minute.
I'm
probably since last football season.
I'm telling you, I'm ducked off. You can find me over in Razorback Land somewhere, though, doing something.
Everybody have a good weekend?
Yeah, everything was pretty good, man.
We were just talking a while ago. First day of school. I know it is at Pleasant Grove and LE. I think Redwater's starting late. Does Arkansas?
LE starts Wednesday.
Oh, they start Wednesday.
Yeah,
Okay.
we starting late. Right now, I think it's the 24th. They moved it back. Yeah, I think it's 24th.
Well, I know. What have we heard on the football for Arkansas? I know they said they were playing.
Yeah.
But I heard some crazy things, and one of the main ones that stuck out to me was if you're going to play football in the state of Arkansas and you have to provide, if somebody were to get COVID, you have to provide them with lifetime health care for COVID-related things.
Whoa.
Yeah, because they're going off what the I believe the Division II colleges off their thing. They're doing exactly what they're doing.
Right.
So I don't know how. I mean, it's
going to be almost
just from a business standpoint. I don't know if you
can't afford it.
I don't know how you can do that.
Can't afford it.
I mean, you can make them sign some type of waiver or something like that, but
Yeah. I'm of the opinion if you're going to have kids in school, why are we not playing sports?
Right.
No doubt.
Right.
It'd be different if it was all homeschool stuff like they had done, but this is just you got to play football if you're going to be in school. That's my opinion.
Right.
But that first game, that PG Nashville game, that kind of puts it up in the air a little bit.
Actually, I believe it's going to be scratched if you would ask me.
Yeah.
Because I don't necessarily know what's the guidelines for Nashville as far as when can they start putting pads on. Mm-hmm. It may be too late by the time they came out with the decision.
And if don't nothing change as of right this minute, they on schedule to be able to play.
Yeah.
They already I'm sure Nashville's on the same thing we're on at Arkansas High, and we can go in the pads. I think beginning this week. We could start out with helmets. We didn't have any helmets on, but we could start out in helmets, off the top last Monday.
Are you suggesting that only having a week to prepare for Pleasant Grove would be a tough thing?
I mean,
3 weeks.
It would be. It'd be very hard to prepare, if you ask me, in a week, especially if they don't have any type of film. It's gonna be hard, but
yeah, for anybody, much less a school like.
And
the
thing
that.
is, it's hard, but I'm gonna tell you one advantage, and the only reason I know this because we play Paris first. That don't mean you're gonna have it figured out.
Yeah.
But what it mean is, don't think the coach hadn't been preparing for the last 3 months. Now, it's still different, but it's more than a week. And the only reason I say that is, if they not already practicing against the lining up against the wing T, they in trouble. You have to start yesterday. Now, if you had already played a game and you got 1 week, that's going to be totally different. They had a whole off season.
Oh yeah.
So I was out at Pleasant Grove Saturday. They did this thing where the varsity players get the freshman and JV players and freshman JV scrimmage, and the varsity players coaches them. It's pretty legit. They got a lot of stuff coming up.
Mm-hmm.
The quarterback's amazing. The running back who will probably be on varsity this year. Can't think of his name.
Jalen Broiler.
Jalen Broiler. Dude, he's a grown man.
Yeah,
he's a freshman in high school.
He's a big old boy.
But Pleasant Grove couldn't get anybody to scrimmage him. Which, when Coach told me that, I was like, I wouldn't want to scrimmage you either. There's no gain for that.
There's no gain unless you out in West Texas. If you're not finna play against the wing T, you crazy if you scrimmage it.
Yeah, I agree with that. And Paris took up the wing T as well. I thought they did a pretty good job last year. You were at the first game, right? That game was pretty dang close.
It was real close.
But,
hopefully they keep committing a lot of these personal foul flags because they're not the most disciplined team in the world.
But Pleasant Grove, their schedule, well, it's not even up on here yet, but their schedule this year, they have an LE schedule last year almost. Although I do think LE's probably was a little bit rougher.
Yeah.
PG's, they just couldn't get anybody to play them.
That's what you run into when you go to win at a high rate. That's what.
I mean, but there's always programs in the state of Texas that was like, you sure you want to play us? Come on.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Well, I think like just to be a fan in this area, when you're bringing Argyle to Texarkana, who's going to be the number 2 ranked team in 4A Division 1, you got Carthage coming, the number 1 ranked team in Division 2. The only time he would even play Carthage other than preseason is the state championship.
That's right. On that.
You know, but like it says a lot about a coach. Like, hey, I'm going to bring them in. I'm going to bring the number 1 ranked team in the state in to play us on homecoming, which, you know, this year homecoming is really not a thing. Because, but you know how many people are going to want to be in that stadium, and lifting the live stream ban, we're going to be able to cover that. We'll have a 8 to 12 camera setup at that football game, and it'll be just like watching a college football game, professional game. We're really, really excited about it.
And with something like that, it's going to be like really needed because, you know, they're not going to be at 100% capacity.
Yeah.
So a lot of people who will want to come to the game, it's not going to be able to come inside.
Yeah.
It's true.
And I kind of like the part you can be at another stadium and be watching another team.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
I like that part.
And we have some pretty big plans that may roll out about mid-season. That's going to be game-changing for football, but we're for sure doing it in basketball. I'll tell y'all more about that at a later time. But Texas High, their first game's not till what? Right at the end of September.
Well, they can't even practice till the
24th of this month. Yeah.
So they're still doing like summer workouts.
Yeah, and we lost 2 games, Texas High and Mount Pleasant. So
Y'all playing another 6-game season?
6 now. Last year was 9. Right now it's 8. We're trying to find a couple. And you can always, just like Danny said a few minutes ago with the scheduling, you can find. Don't let coaches fool you. You can find people to play. Now, granted, when you got on the road like Liberty Allo was on, then you look up and it's La Vega and Argyle and teams like that, and that's what Pleasant Grove on that level now, and they rolling. And so, I mean, if you want a game every year, La Vega will say we'll play the next 10 years. But if you think just 85% of the schools finna play, that's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen. And you know, that's why Argyle coming down here. Don't get it twisted, man. They're not gonna be the most athletic team in the world. Argyle will have a chance to win the whole thing in Division 1. And that don't mean that they're better than Pleasant Grove or Carthage, but they will be right there when it counts.
I didn't realize how good Argyle was. Like when the rankings came out, then I was like, oh, let me check in. I started looking into them. Like they're stacked.
It's every year.
I mean, but that whole program, far as like they win the Lone Star Cup every year, it seems like.
And it's stupid. But Donnie had told me one time we was talking about baseball, and he said, well, you know, Argyle has I think it was 11 Division 1. And the first thing I told him, I said, wait a minute, it must be 2 or 3 pitchers along with that because somebody's on the bench, and they got a Division 1 scholarship. And then you look at the girls' basketball program. Over the last 7-8 years, is as good as any.
Yeah.
You know.
Where is Argyle? It's outside of Dallas, right?
Yeah. It's I've been there before, but it's probably 25 minutes from downtown Dallas, but
really?
And they be so big. It's kind of like Salina was at one while in football. It just be so big up front. They got, you know, a couple Division 1 linemen, Division 1 tight end. You know, they changing quarterbacks. You know, Gary Hogaboon's son was the quarterback last year, Mo Hogaboon. And they just, it don't matter who quarterback, Highland Park and Argyle, they're going to have a...
Everybody told me you were just like a wealth of knowledge when it comes to sports.
He don't know everything.
He don't know everything?
He don't know everything. Don't tell him that.
Well, what you got to do, you just got to spit something out, and hopefully the people beside you don't know exactly what's what. That way you get away with it, you know?
Hey, I'll go to a basketball game, and by the time the basketball game's over, I've done given like 8 players double-doubles on one team. I'm out here to promote y'all.
No matter what you say it with confidence. They're going to believe you know what you're talking about.
Right. I know nobody in this building's keeping stats.
Yeah, no doubt.
But Texas High with their schedule is obviously going to be different. They could be playing into January, which, you know, Texas High's got a stacked football team.
Yeah, they're pretty good this year.
Sellers at quarterback. You got Clayton at the outside backer. You got Green, not outside backer. He plays DN.
Yeah, DN.
And Green will play the other DN. You got the Halter kid at linebacker. You got I can't think of the kid's name at safety, Stonehands.
Arnold.
Yeah. Okay, Lamar. He is a twin, right?
No.
That was the other. Yeah. It's just an exciting time, and then, you know, Coach Norton over at Arkansas High is ranked number 2 in the state or 3 in the state.
3. You gonna always have those 2 Christian schools. Just you know, Pulaski. Matter of fact, Pulaski looking for games, and good luck the team out of Tennessee was going to play them, and something happened with the state, and they was going to play Evangel Christian. And so they're not going to get a chance to play those games. But they got a big advantage, man.
When I was growing up, I was in Longview, and
Lobo up.
Yeah. The Evangel Christian, I swear we played against their varsity team when we were freshmen. I promise y'all. Like, there's no way those kids were our age.
Right.
And then, then when we went to, JV and stuff, it was like, then we knew. You know, like, we were playing against their varsity team the night before they play our varsity.
Yeah, and they hold them kids back. You know, that was one of the things they did back in the day. They hold those kids back, and they all was 19, and, you know, that extra year makes a difference.
Yeah.
Makes a difference.
Well, they aren't what they used to be.
Right.
We'll say that for sure. I wonder what happened with that. They just fall off. But I guess the reason you brought that up, those Arkansas teams, they're private schools basically that Arkansas has having to play.
Yeah. I mean.
But they had my personal opinion, the high schools such as Arkansas High, they had a disadvantage when you play a team such as, Little Rock, Little Rock Christian?
Little Rock Christian or Pulaski Academy.
Pulaski, yeah.
The guy win about 90% of his games at Pulaski. And he had trouble scheduling every year. He had to play a lot of bigger schools, but it's a big advantage. I mean, you basically choosing your kids. Yeah. And a lot of them choose you. And, it's the guy, of course, he gets credit for, he don't punt the football. I mean, they got 4 downs. They could be on their own 10-yard line. They got 4 downs to get a first down. So he wrote books and everything. He's most famous for the style of play. They onside kick every single time. I
like it.
Oh, yeah. And on the only deal, now the part of going forward, having 4 downs, I could see that at least all the way up to around that 40-yard line. If I'm on my own 20, which I've seen Coach Gibson go for it a couple times, including the state championship.
Oh, man.
I've seen him go for it.
Yeah.
But you know what? The law averages or the theory behind it, if you got 4 downs to get it, they're going to get it.
I was
5% of the time.
I was on the field for that because we were filming for that for the Heart and Soul documentary, and all the kids come over, and I don't remember, it might have been second quarter. They lost momentum when that happened, and team went down and scored. It was that's it. Right after they scored, he came over and he's like, "Look, guys, I didn't think they could stop us. That's on me. That was a bad decision. That's on me," and just said it in a way like he took responsibility for it. But I mean, you put yourself in his shoes, like they hadn't stopped him.
Yeah.
There's no reason for him to believe they're about to stop him right now.
Yeah.
That one kid just evidently he knew the play was drawn up. He freaking ran around everybody right into that hole where nobody could get him.
But that guy can do that at Pulaski because the type of kids that he's dealing with. I mean, they every one of them driving to school and A.B. students. I mean, you can't go to most schools around here or around the country and do that. You won't be able to get away with it.
Yeah. I was Allen last year, that team that beat Texas High in the playoff game at home.
Frisco Independence.
Yeah, that was going to be their 3rd string quarterback at Allen. And he's committed to play Division I football quarterback. He was going to be 3rd string quarterback. Like, how is that possible?
The tight end, because he was number 3 tight end in the country right now, because he's committed to Miami.
Oh, man, that's why that come up.
Man, why does he want to go lose?
Man.
Has he put Miami in the trash ever? Did he after the Louisiana Tech game?
You know what? He didn't put him in the trash, but he gave him – he did more than I thought he would.
I didn't know him well enough to mess with him, but I almost wanted to.
He's not a good sport by no means. He can dish it out with the best of them, but when you want to go ahead and call him after they lose, you probably won't talk to him. He's a terrible sport.
See, but he's an Arkansas fan, so he's used to that. Arkansas fans, they used to lose.
Arkansas Razorback, they have the worst fan base in the world.
They're delusional.
What I mean by that is, they're the best fan base because they have nothing else to root for. But Arkansas is going to be good.
No, you got to be
How
realistic.
do you think they're going to be good? What y'all need to do is y'all need to do the wing tee in college and try not to get beat by 40 points.
Because here's the thing, if you keep talking about Arkansas, eventually he's going to bring up, we got more titles than anyone. But we talking football, but he'll throw some track and field in it.
Everybody known for football. Something. The you known for, jail.
I thought it was looking at me and said, you're known for jail. First 2 minutes, I was like, I've never been to jail.
We all known for something.
Facebook jail.
Well, look, and the reason why we do that, I'm not crazy when it comes to it. I know we had a good stretch when Mallet and
dude, that was like 2 games, 2 years. Don't say that's a stretch.
We had 4 or 5 years where we could play with anybody. 4 or 5 years.
Are you Razorback fan?
Go back and
No,
look
Oh, okay.
man.
But at the same time, you got programs that's been on top of the world, like University of Texas. The last 2 times we played them, I think they scored maybe 14. We had maybe 50. You know what I mean? And we're not the most talented football group in the world, so we have to brag on track. You know what I mean? It is an Olympic sport, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, so and we've been better than anybody last.
Why don't y'all get some of the track players to play football then?
Well, that's another thing. When people think of track, they think of the 100-meter, right?
Yeah.
We got a lot of 5,000.
I was about to say, you're talking cross country now.
5K runners and
Who was that? Who was that guy? He lived in Atlanta, Georgia, and he ran the 100. Maybe last name Gay.
Tyson
Gay.
I remember he went and tried out for the Texans, like way back when,
Yeah, Tyson Gay.
and he was like the fastest man in the world at the time, and it did not work out.
Actually,
Like,
there's been a few. Even Justin Gatlin.
Yeah.
That when he got popped for the roids, he decided he was gonna go try for the NFL because it didn't happen.
I don't remember, be honest with you, because I remember Dallas drafted Carl Lewis, but I don't remember a lot of people that were on Olympic level that was good. When they, Ronaldo, Nehemiah. I mean, you got the guy out of the Dallas area. They did the story on him and his wife. They had the bad deal with the kid, Marquise Goodwin.
Yeah.
Marquise Goodwin was on that type of level.
Yeah,
He's
I
an
think
Olympic
he
athlete.
qualified for the Olympics.
Yeah,
for
yeah,
110
he
hurdles,
did.
I think. Yeah. Well, the kid up in Kansas City, Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
His last competitive 100
Exactly.
meters would have finished 8th in the last Olympics. That dude
And-
can run.
Yeah, no doubt. He's
and people
fast.
fail to realize, man. You look at the guy. What's the man at Liberty Allo? The Olympic.
With Lawson.
Jerry Lawson. When Jerry Lawson was in the Olympic game, he would have won the long jump, but his hand raised the ground. Well, the guy that won, he from Arkansas, and he come in second to Fred Rose, in the meter champs in Arkansas. He ran the 100 meter. You know what I mean? A lot of people wouldn't know that, but I mean, those guys are world class athletes.
Yeah.
But you can't, Michael Jordan proved you can't put it down and pick it up. It's not that easy. If Mike would have kept playing baseball forever, Mike probably would have been a great baseball player. You can't pick it up and put it down. You got to put in the work.
Yeah.
Before we kind of jumped into college and NFL stuff. Before we do that, let's talk about Liberty Allo real quick. Coach Davis taking over the program. I think they're playing Henderson first game instead of Pine Tree because Pine Tree's 5A, so they lost it. What do y'all see for Liberty Allo this year?
They can't do no worse than what they did last year.
Yeah.
So better.
So I feel like they're gonna. They still in the district with Gilmer and Pleasant Grove, which those are two of the top dogs.
Spring Hill lost their quarterback, who was really a really good quarterback and held most of that. They lost that receiver that was good. That's the D1 receiver. I think he went and played. He's playing at Prime Academy or whatever Deion Sanders school is. He's going to be going there. I can see them in. I have them making the playoffs.
No doubt, they should make the playoffs.
Yeah, Spring Hill and Pittsburgh. Depending on injuries and all that, in my opinion, they should win those games. I don't think they're not ready for Gilmer or Pleasant Grove yet.
They playing a team called Life.
I thought that team was a joke. When I first saw it, I was like, they're actually pretty good.
Yeah.
After doing some research, like evidently they're not a joke. Like they play big time schools. Let's look at their schedule. Before I'm out here just throwing random stuff, let's see who Life.
I can tell you this.
Wait, is it like an acronym for something?
No, that's the name of the school, Life.
Yeah, it's Life.
Yeah.
I tell you this. One thing I do know about Coach Davis from knowing him, a lot of what went on last year with the fight against La Vega and a lot of hoop hollering, a lot of stuff that shouldn't happen, that won't happen. That's one thing I can tell you for sure. He will clean it up. And like Donnie said, of course they win more than they won last year. Of course.
I guess we all grew up in a similar era where I can remember playing high school basketball and a fight breaking out and like stepping up for my boys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Part of me is like, there shouldn't have been a fight. And if you ever actually watch the film, Liberty Allo didn't start it.
Oh, no, La Vega's something else now.
Yeah. LifeLock actually plays Waco La Vega at Waco La Vega. Yeah.
They played Waco La Vega?
Yeah, they're playing them on November 6th.
Did they play them last year?
I don't know.
Because I would like to see the score and then I know a little.
But it was unpopular because I came out and defended the kids. Like, look, you're you can't just watch your friend get stomped out in the end zone. Like, that was actually happening. They had his helmet off, stomping on him.
Right.
Like, should a fight happen? No. But at the same point, like, if somebody walked in this room and just hit me in the face, if somebody didn't step up for me,
you got
you know what I mean? Like that.
Yeah, you got.
And another thing has to come into account. Those guys are from where they're from, so it's prone. You're not gonna watch one of yours.
Yeah.
Your nature is gonna come out.
Yeah.
And you're gonna go out there and try to defend, your guy. I mean, that is, where some of these guys come up from, where I come up from.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna sit back and watch one of my buddies.
You can't.
No, I mean, I don't know where you would grow up at where that's okay.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
maybe it's just different times.
Yeah.
But like when I first saw that, I was like, everybody's like, this is crazy. Well, I'm like, yeah, it's crazy, but what do you expect these kids to do? If little Johnny goes home every day and his friend rides his bicycle over with him, little Johnny gets jumped and his friend doesn't do anything.
Yeah, he won't be friends long.
You know what I mean? Like, what is little Johnny's parents going to say to him? Oh, you couldn't help my son out. But because it happened on a football field, it's different.
When I first seen it, man, the first thing I thought, of course, I thought it was crazy, but then I was like, I'd find somebody else to play and fight than Waco La Vega.
Oh, yeah.
And the Waco La Vega hadn't won but one title, and they got beat by Carthage last year in the state championship game. And in the last 3 years, I would find somebody else to fight besides Waco La Vega.
I was in the Balfour booth for that game, and I didn't know that the Waco La Vega superintendent was sitting right in front of me. I didn't know that's who he was. And I'm like, yeah, these dudes are pretty good at football, but they can't fight worth a crap. And then I was like, I still didn't know that was him. And I'm like, well, they're paying Carthage. I hope they lose, for doing that stuff to Liberty Ilo. But, they can beat Carthage no way. Come to find out that he was a superintendent. And I'm literally sitting right behind him. I'm like, oh, man. I said, well, I'm going to see him again.
I was telling Donnie, I said, man, I heard that they had a couple of key injuries, and I'm not saying who would have won because I would rather Carthage beat Waco La Vega. I don't know nobody in Waco La Vega, but it was one of the kind of deals where I was talking to one of the Liberty Alo coaches, and he was saying, man, baddest man on the football field, it's not playing. That's the middle linebacker for Waco La Vega. He said he's a grown man. I looked it up. I think he's 6'1", 220. But it's like, well, people say, well, that's an excuse. It is. But I'm gonna tell you right now. We talked about this a lot. If you don't think people like Marcus Burris make a difference, you don't think Landon Jackson in the state championship game would have made a difference, then you're not watching football. That don't mean that, Pleasant Road would have automatically won that game. That don't mean that, but I can tell you this. That mean that coach from the other team would be trying to figure out a way to stop 40. That would probably have been his first priority. And then he didn't have to do none of that. You know what I mean? Yeah. It makes a big difference, man.
With all the injuries Pleasant Grove had last year, I was worried. You had Bruce in the playoffs, Nick tore his ACL, Jackson was out first game of the season.
Stanfield tore his ACL.
Yes, Stanfield tore his ACL. The other kid that played linebacker, he came back in the playoffs a little bit. Porsche, yeah. I've never seen a team like that unlucky.
Yeah.
And then to still win state?
Well, I done my homework based off of what Donnie had told me a couple of years ago, and I'm gonna tell you right now, most of those teams, you look up and they get ready to play, and they 12 and 13 and 0. The other teams, but they hadn't played Carthage.
Yeah,
they hadn't even played Gilmer, and people like Gilmer probably would beat 95% of them teams. But yeah, Gilmer is a step behind the top couple teams right now. Them teams out west, and I'm not taking nothing away from them, but that's not the same football.
Oh, you are taking away from them.
They 13 and 0, 14 and 0, and they throwing it around. Believe me, Nashville is not what Nashville used to be, and they will probably beat those teams, most of them. And they're not what they used to be.
I think most people are going to have, in our area, going to have PG pick to win state. Carthage is obviously the big one everybody's looking at because they've just been so dominant. But Texas High does have a chance this year. They're going to be good. I wish my man. I'm so bad with names off the top of my head, but wide receiver that's at Memphis. Kobe. Yeah, I wish he was still there.
Yeah,
man,
it make a difference.
See, that's the only thing that Texas High doesn't necessarily have on the team this year. They don't have that premier receiver unless Clayton's out there.
Yeah. And Clayton's going to play both ways.
He's going to have to.
Yeah.
Quarterback may be out there.
Yeah, or Ryan Sellers, if he's lining up out there out wide, then they would have that dominant guy. But one of those has to be on the field in order for that to happen.
Is running back going to be a downgrade from Tracy Cooper from last year?
Oh, no doubt. It's going to be. They're going to have to be like a running back by committee.
Yeah.
Give a few guys the ball. They don't have a workhorse like that.
I was telling her, I was like, he's the best running back in the city. I mean, like, no disrespect to like Bruce or any of them other guys, but like Tracy Cooper was that dude.
Yeah.
You know,
Tracy could play.
But now, there's a guy on the other side of the state line, Torrey Blair. He doesn't get enough recognition, but that kid is good.
Yeah. Torrey got a chance. He got it.
If you put him, for instance, if you would have put him, such somebody with his talent in a Pleasant Grove offense, he'll have 2,000 yards for the season before the 10 games is 9 because that's how good he is. And it's natural. He don't have to work at it. He was just no guy.
He's a full-time defensive back too.
So,
well, let's switch it over to college NFL. Man, these college, I guess, conferences are dropping like flies right now. Ripple effect. I saw a thing last night that if college football, for whatever reason, doesn't play, but NFL and Texas high school football plays, we'll be seeing Texas high school football on ESPN.
Oh, yeah.
They'll be moving games to Thursday, Friday, Saturday, double, triple headers. We'll be seeing high school football like we've never seen it before, and they're not going to do anything but the state of Texas.
And you'll see it on Mondays too.
Who's North Shore is supposed to be playing the team out of California, Mater Dei.
Oh, that's
the very first game of the season, but I don't know what California's rules are. I'm assuming they're a little bit crazier than everybody else's rules with football.
Right.
Yeah.
So who knows if that game's going to happen? But can you imagine, like, instead of like how we consume college football right now, that turns into Texas high school football on a Saturday? Like,
man.
The way let me tell you how this is going to work. If you're going to, because we've talked, every school in this area has reached out to us. So most of them, they're going to have a one camera set up. Right. And, hey, this is just something so you can watch it. You know, there's no real expectations for it. Ours, on the other hand, I mean, we're going to have people in the booth, pregame, halftime, postgame shows. We're covering band, drill team, cheerleading. We're covering everything with 8 to 12 cameras. I mean, it's a super professional setup.
Yeah.
You know, so we're really, really excited about that. And we're not only going to have one of those setups, we'll have two. So, you know, we will be able to cover, you know, last year when we started Game Day, I had no time. Today, actually, Aaron, I don't know if you know this, today's Game Day's birthday. It is. Today's Game Day's birthday. So, hopefully somebody brings some cake up here. But, man, it was literally started on a whim and just let's go have fun. It kind of turned into something, and now to see kind of how it's grown, and, you know, we want to see the kids do well, and that's really what it's always kind of been about. But last year, I wasn't expecting it to be as popular as it was, so I wasn't ready to cover all four schools. I just couldn't.
Right.
Didn't have the manpower, didn't have the money, didn't have the equipment set up. I mean, you know, but it's turned out to be a ton of fun. I mean, a ton of fun. I'm glad you guys decided to be a part of it.
I was telling Donnie, man, that's huge. Like you said, you know, everybody got to start somewhere. But when you giving 4 different schools, you know, you giving all of them a platform, you can't beat that. Because, you know, we had a couple, like even like last year, we had one reach the highest, the pinnacle, whatever, again, which was Pleasant Grove. And then you had one hit the rock bottom, Liberty Allo. But Liberty Allo's still getting the voice. They still getting some shine, and that's what we need. And I'm gonna tell you something. Anytime, you know, of course, if somebody get hot and they on the run, they're gonna get more attention. That's just the way it go. But I'm gonna tell you something. Let Liberty Allo get on the roll and let them be in the thick of things. Then you're gonna be right there. The same thing for Arkside, Texas. I let them get on the roll and keep playing football. Guess what's gonna happen? Game day gonna be there, and you can't beat that. I mean, that's the beauty of it.
So we're having another set made. So we'll have 5 sets, I believe. So, I mean, we're covering some of the smaller schools as well.
Yeah.
You know, so what people don't see, everybody sees what's on camera. What they don't see is they see insiders like Chop Buchanan, Jay Davis, Billy Lavender. Y'all be a part of it this year. Right. You have guys behind the scenes that you don't always just see on camera, but they're helping promote that school. It's impossible to know everything that's going on, but that's kind of their job to know everything that's going on, and it just makes it a lot better.
Yeah.
You know, this year we actually know the players, most of them anyway, so it's going to be a lot easier to cover. But yeah, man, the kids love it. We love doing it, and I hope that if it works out where college football is not played, and Texas high school football is,
It's gonna be huge.
Man, it's going to be huge. I'm telling y'all.
It's gonna be huge.
Well, with our setup, and I do have two people at ESPN that I know that work there. Our setup, you could see a Texas High or Pleasant Grove on ESPN with our setup.
On top of that, imagine when you were playing, waking up the next morning and being able to go back and watch a professional broadcast of the game you played.
Well, I mean, that's what's different.
Drive me crazy. I'd be itching. I wouldn't go to sleep.
It'd be awesome.
Yeah.
And there's no telling how many views something like that's going to pull. Because if you want to watch Carthage play football this year, you're going to have to pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
if you want to
true.
watch Allen play, you're paying for it. Hey, you want to watch a Texarkana team, you don't have to pay for it.
Yeah.
Like the sponsors in this area, luckily this year, we didn't really have anything to show last year. We had State Bank and Texarkana Emergency Center take a big gamble on us, along with Express Personnel and a few others. Sorry, I'm missing them. But, it's going to be free for you to watch. So it's hard to say what the viewership's going to be, but I know Argyle, Carthage, played here at home where we were going to have a super professional setup. It's going to be amazing. Can't wait for it. But all right, we got off topic again. Dang it, Mondo.
That's what happens when you're having fun, man.
Yeah. If college football is played this year, who's your top? Who's making the playoffs?
Miami.
Miami has
State.
no chance. You want to put some money on it?
Ohio State.
Don't end
that's
so.
one.
Hey, y'all need to get on this
Clemson.
bandwagon. Miami will not be the same team we were last year.
I agree.
We're gonna be better,
I agree.
but we're not gonna make it.
No, yeah. Keep
Who
hating
do
on
you like?
Miami.
Who do you like?
I'm a Longhorn fan.
Oh
but
my God, he a Longhorn fan.
This is objectively true. College football is better when Miami's good.
No,
My
that's,
man,
that's true.
It just
Yeah.
is.
You said something.
And you know
that's
what?
fact.
The sad thing about it, they better. College football better when Texas.
It is, yeah.
But nobody cares if Arkansas is good or bad.
No,
That's
no.
true.
That's facts.
No, we wait on spring.
Yeah.
We wait on
Arkansas is
spring.
almost to the point where SEC is going to start paying y'all to come get beat up like that.
Hey, look,
Arkansas said, I'm not going to Alabama unless
Not
y'all
trying
give
to
me $1
defend
million.
them. Not trying to defend them, but it is a difference. Like right now, I looked at the two games we picked up. It was Georgia and Florida. I mean, it's like, really?
Yeah, that'll go well for you guys.
We're
I'm sure.
Vanderbilt and Kentucky, man.
Yeah.
Georgia and Florida.
Man, I think OU, it's going to be tough for them to get back in a top four no matter what they do from now on because they've been getting beat so bad.
It's going to be hard.
Yeah, it all depends. They're gonna have a new guy on the center, the Ratliff guy, whatever his name
Spencer.
is. Spencer, yeah. If he can be what he were coming out of high school, because he was number 1 ranked quarterback coming out of high school. Oklahoma has always been in thick of things as far as the Big 12 because opposed to my guy here being a Texas fan, Texas is not what Texas normally is.
Yeah.
Not right now.
To answer your question about the playoffs, I think that we're going to see, because we're going to lose all the non-conference games, they're going to expand the playoffs probably. I would bet it goes to 8 and we have a bigger playoff crowd.
That'd be awesome because
That's the only
once they
way-
do it, they
because-
just start doing it every year.
They give Arkansas a chance.
Yeah.
No,
Reality is they got to give that.
Maybe
They give Arkansas a chance.
Hey, it don't give Arkansas a chance, but it definitely give the people they playing against a chance. You definitely can put a couple more of them in there.
So
Hell, they may need to throw an NIT tournament in there for
Yeah.
football. Arkansas have a shot.
we need to change conference. We need to be in a Big 12. No, ACC.
No.
Nah, ACC, my man.
Of course, Notre Dame went over there, but
Sun Belt.
it's a different level of football. Now, your better teams can, ACC and Big 12 can play with, well, I say that Oklahoma can, but they pretty much can play with the best, but that journey into the SEC is a little different.
Yeah, the talent, it seems like it's
Just
further,
watch the NFL
further
draft.
apart, but
It'll tell you
Texas played with LSU last year.
early on, yeah.
They did, yeah. They gave
If they would have,
if
if they could have gotten 1 yard 2 times,
Yeah.
they would have won that game.
I'd like to see Texas play them in week 9.
Oh
last
no,
year.
Yeah.
I would not. I'm happy losing by a couple scores.
Texas actually comes out 25th.
They 25th right now?
Yeah,
and I think Texas, in my opinion, I think they'd be better. I
But
think their
now some
quarterback could be in the
polls
top 5.
has Miami number
MVP.
22. I just want to throw that out there if anybody wants to know.
Well, none of the
Top.
That's the
none of
AP.
the professionals on the AP think got them in the top. But
That's maybe, but some of the polls,
What are
like
the
the
top
college football
teams?
poll.
Air Force is number 22.
Oh, that tell you all you need to know.
Navy's number 20. Appalachian State.
What?
Is Appalachian? When did they go? I thought they were D1 AA.
They are.
They must
No.
be loaded.
No, I
Yeah,
think
they're
they
playing the
bumped
Sun
up.
Belt Conference now. They must have moved conferences. They're 19.
Who the top, say, 7 teams?
LSU, Clemson, Ohio State, Georgia, Oregon, Florida, and Oklahoma. Alabama's 8. When's the last time they've been out of the top
You can
5?
turn that off.
They need to do it like they do the English stuff.
That won't happen.
The European soccer leagues where they have like relegation, so
Yeah.
it's all get bumped down into the Sun Belt or something.
You see some of the teams that got ahead of Alabama?
I didn't know.
I think Florida was one of them.
Oh, no.
Man, Florida, they one of the most overhyped teams.
Alabama is one of the top 4 teams in the country.
Yeah, I don't know how.
Clemson.
This is
They got Oregon over Alabama.
Yeah. Well, because
their uniforms look better.
and then who they play. I mean, you're gonna win a lot more games.
Are you sure
See,
you're not looking
Georgia's
at
still in there.
Yeah. Let's switch over to the NFL real quick. We know we're having some NFL football, although
Some money. Yeah.
may not be anybody in the stands.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see the ticket holder, and I don't get my tickets this year.
So you a Cowboy
your money
Nation?
back?
Do what?
You get your money back?
Yeah, but they I had first row seats in the end zone, and the first 8 rows are gonna have
Those
marketing
deals.
things on them. So
Are you part of Cowboy Nation?
yeah,
Yeah.
I've grew up a Cowboy fan. I stay loyal.
Nothing
Well,
wrong
this is
with
the
it.
biggest Cowboy Nation hater on the side of you.
No, he's the most honest guy.
Let me guess. He's been a New England Patriot fan.
Oh no.
He roots for a mile high.
Well, they did win a
Close to
Super
the
Bowl.
Lord, man. But no, actually, my favorite player, without question, is Aaron Rodgers, and I think he's a little bit different dude, but
He is different.
he's a bad man. And I'm gonna tell you, I was saying that before Stephen A. Smith ever said it, and I got people around town to tell you.
But here's the thing about Mondo.
2010,
Every year a team wins Super Bowl, that's his team.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
That's his team.
That's what I figured.
I reside 1 mile high.
Oh man, did you not have a Kansas City Chiefs jersey on?
I got an Eric Warfield jersey.
I
man.
didn't want
They
to hear all
played in the
that.
Super Bowl.
But what
All
did that guy do with anything? He didn't play.
No, he is part of it.
Nah, I ain't trying to hear that.
he Razorback Nation, baby. High school. Yeah. But no, I'm honestly, I grew up a Dallas Cowboy fan, diehard, and when he did what he did to, not that he did what he did to Tom Landry, but the way he did it. And Jerry just did 4 or 5 moves he did, and I just couldn't stand it. And I'm a big time Deion Sanders fan,
Yeah,
and then
so am
my
I.
best friend played.
Deion
pro
Sanders
football
is
for 18
trash,
years.
by the way. He's trash. He's from Florida State.
Yeah, baddest man ever.
Then why does he leave the league in interceptions? All time
Because they
leader.
didn't throw it over there.
That's
It's
a good
easy.
point.
I'm
yeah.
not trying to hear that.
There's probably a little truth to
They
that,
didn't
though.
throw it over there. I mean, Prime went a couple years where he didn't have but a couple interceptions.
I know when he was in San Fran when nobody was throwing on his side.
Yeah.
Don't
I
agree
mean,
with
it's tell
him.
you that's a Deion Sanders cover right there. Sign.
Oh, is it?
I
Yeah.
can't root for him. He's from Florida
Right.
State. I don't like anybody.
But you know,
How do you not like primetime, man?
Nah,
he's
he do.
he's the
Florida State.
Undercover.
GOAT, man.
He from
Yeah.
Florida State. If you know how I am about Miami, you'll know. I can't root for nobody. But I hate every team.
Greatest sports documentary ever was you.
Oh
It
yeah.
was.
Oh well, yeah. They got more. Than
We
one.
got 2, by the way. We got 2 30 for 30s. Like that's
Yeah.
what we do.
And when he became a Miami fan, they were that team. I don't know what he been talking about lately.
It doesn't. What does it matter, dude? Use the Arkansas Razorback. Don't. That's not.
What?
That's sick on script.
What was the down? It's like the downfall happened when Ohio State beat them in overtime, and it's like after that.
No, we got cheated.
Well, yeah, I can agree with
All I
that.
can do is go by what they.
Man, trying to hear all that. There you go.
But like after that, it was like that program just hadn't done like
That lady-
you, you don't have to.
Now
win-
what happened was
That
that we got a
lady-
new president,
Yeah.
and she thought the football was the
Yeah.
limelight, and she thought education should have been. Well, she came and pretty much killed the program. She wouldn't allow them to bring in certain kids that made the program what it was. Basically, she just wanted to be just a football team, but she wanted to be known for education, which Miami is one of
It's
the
a
top
private school?
institutes in the country.
Yeah.
But we finally got a new president that wants to win.
They want the boosters to pay the kids.
And plus, Niven's out of jail. Niven's out of jail. And
out.
if
Shapiro.
everybody know what's going on in Miami now, we are getting those guys we normally lose to Bama and the Georgias, and now they're staying home. So
They're getting them one
future's-
parent.
it's getting bright.
You know
kids and them one
who else has
parent.
fell off that's kind of goes silently is Notre Dame.
But I don't ever
Yeah.
consider them being. Back in the day, they were the team, but like when they had the guy that had the imaginary girlfriend, what's his name?
Oh my God, that's great.
Mateo.
Yeah, like
How
they
can
was
you-
hyped to
can you-
be. They got ranked to a point. I think like number 3. Miami
Yeah.
ended up beating them that.
Yeah.
I forgot about Mateo.
Yeah.
He actually had a pretty good NFL career too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Notre Dame is one of those schools. They get overhyped every
Let
year
the
going
network.
in. Yeah, no
That's
doubt.
how they got a lot of the people.
They're going to have
that-
to stop letting them play in the playoffs when they do.
No
get-
doubt.
Man.
You see,
That's the
Miami.
reason I'm worried about Oklahoma, man. They've been performing so bad, like that. Even though
But-
you're not supposed to, I'd be like, guys,
But
they're
Oklahoma
going to get blown
perform.
out.
That's nothing new.
Yeah.
Oklahoma performed like that for 10 plus years.
And see, Miami got them. They back to get them guys the gold teeth and the dreads.
Right.
You better watch out, cause they bowed it back.
Well, man, I was at Baton Rouge last week. We drove through there, went by the stadium, saw the Tiger, whatever the Tiger's name is. Kind of hung around the campus for a little bit. And man, I'm excited to go to my first LSU game there.
Yeah.
If you get a chance.
Oh, I'm gonna go.
You there?
Well, at least when Landis playing, that's when I want to go.
Yeah.
But
you should have come a few years ago. Speaking of Arkansas, you should have come watch him play in Little Rock with Patrick Peterson and all of them. See what Kobe Hamilton did to him.
Man, let me tell y'all what.
He said first row seats will go for $4.
This is some years ago. Y'all remember when Arkansas was ranked in the top 5?
Yeah.
They went to they played some.
Ohio State came back and beat us.
No, they played some team from Louisiana and got beat, like Louisiana Monroe or something.
Wait a minute.
This is like 2010-ish to 12, somewhere like that. They came out ranked in top 5. They go get beat. They were playing away at Monroe, or maybe it was at Arkansas. Louisiana Monroe or Louisiana Tech beats them. And the very next week, Alabama's coming to town, and I had tickets to go watch it. It stormed throughout that entire game. It looked like grown men were playing kids.
Yeah, and it was. Man, no, Alabama, you got to spread Alabama out. If you can't spread them out, you have no chance.
I think Arkansas at this point, they need to go to something, even if it's a gimmick like a Texas Tech offense, or just run the ball to shorten this game, because they can't compete.
Only thing the Razorbacks can do, University of Arkansas Razorbacks, they need to hopefully their their realignment with the Texas, how the Texas school do with numbers of students.
Man.
They need to get dropped down.
Obviously, we can all talk some football. Let's run through this real quick. What do y'all think about the basketball season so far? Pro basketball.
Just glad they playing, man.
Yeah, I am too. Do y'all like? I don't like the setup they're doing, but it is kind of funny where you can pay to be on there. And, I saw baseball's doing the same thing with cutouts.
Right.
People are doing funny things to get right behind home plate.
Now, if you ask me, I think they brought the season back for LeBron.
Yeah.
I think they felt like LeBron, this was going to be a year that he was going to win.
They have a chance to win, yeah.
And by the corona happening, it took that from him. So I think they was like, okay, LeBron, you are the face. We're going to make sure you are able to try to win you another title.
Yeah. And they did it the right way. It's the only league that's going to go smoothly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. NFL is one of the most, they are the most progressive league in my opinion.
The NBA?
Yeah.
I got you.
The NBA, sorry. They use everything they do. It's like they do it the right way.
Yeah, the commissioner.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and they done that years and years and years ago. And they also listen to their players.
But the way they handling the COVID-19 is how a whole lot of even these college teams, these commissioners of these leagues, these presidents of these schools, they need to handle it such as, because it's not going away. You canceling football or any other particular collegiate sport, it's not going to stop the spread of corona. It's not going to slow it down.
The reason they do it, though, I mean, let's just be honest. If every one of my employees had COVID, or and had to send them all home, we have nothing going on. All right, but imagine if I had 150 athletes and 3,000 students on campus, and somebody, just by numbers, somebody may die. Okay, and we know kids probably aren't, but you get fired.
No doubt.
A lot of that is like they probably think the exact same thing we're thinking, but they just don't get fired.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's no waiver covering it.
Yeah,
you get somebody to sign a waiver, you're acknowledging that there is a massive risk doing what you do.
But somebody actually did have a waiver when they came back.
Yeah.
Some big Power 5 school, they haven't signed a waiver. I can't think on top of my head right now, but they made the kids when they came back sign a waiver that, hey, we know is this pandemic going on. You know, you don't have to come, but if you do decide to play ball, you got to sign this paper that we're not going to be liable if something would happen with you. I mean, they old enough to understand what's going on in the world. So if they don't want to play, opt out. If you still want to put those pads on or go inside of an arena and dribble a basketball, sign this paper and say you're aware of what could happen and you're okay.
Yeah. And on the flip side of that, they're under an immense amount of pressure, right? These kids, their decision is, do I take this risk? And if I don't, is my future toast? Am I headed back home for good? Right? So there's some pressure on them that wouldn't normally be on most folks, right? So it's kind of difficult to weigh where you stand on that. But would that waiver hold up in court in a wrongful death?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Family, who knows? I don't know, because there's going to be a discovery process, right? What happened? Who missed something?
Yeah.
Right? So who knows? I'm rooting
blame
for
somebody. Trevor Lawrence made a lot of sense too when he said that if everybody went home from college, you'd have the same outbreak, but yet they'll be taken care of. Most of them be taken care of better if they in school than if they're at home, because you don't know their situation.
Yeah. No doubt, exactly, because the medical that they can provide you at this college is going to be a whole lot better than some of these kids that they go back home. So it's kind of like
I didn't consider that.
It's kind of like a win-win for the kid to actually stay in school.
Yeah.
Because if he goes home,
man,
a lot
of. There's two, like Joe Burrow. I can't remember exactly what he said he was going to do, but taking a stand with Black Lives Matter stuff, and what was the other one he did? There was two different stands he took that it was complete opposite of like Drew Brees.
Right.
And we're talking about a guy who hadn't even made his money yet. And it's like, because what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. It's kind of how I try to see it. And showing a lot of character there. And then Trevor Lawrence, him and his girlfriend have some foundation that raised over $1 million for something. And I'm just like, it's kids in college. You know what I mean? It's exact stuff like that. It looks like, yes, these players should be paid. No doubt. But, I do understand from business standpoint, these smaller schools, I just don't know how they do it. There really isn't any money for them to get.
But just like, because me and Mona, we discuss it all the time, and I'm just gonna bring up like a Zion Williamson. Like, how much money did he generate for Duke? And of course, it's obvious that the guy got 4,000.
Yeah. 400K.
No, I mean 400K.
I was about to say
400.
It's obvious that he's got that.
We should have got him to come to A&M. Texas A&M, Texarkana.
Even him getting the 400,000, that still was a discount compared to the money he generated for Duke. That's a discount.
But look at the school you're talking about. You don't hear a whole lot about it, and you're not gonna hear a whole lot about it going forward. Because if you bring Duke down, you got to bring them all down.
No doubt. Yeah, if you do bring Duke down, you got to bring everybody's going to come down.
Duke is not Kentucky. I mean, we know what Kentucky doing.
There's another player that I'm telling y'all, it's too fishy. That kid, the running back from North Shore, that's TCU.
Man,
something is up with that.
Yeah,
and I know he's got a bad attitude. And then this, let me phrase. I don't know the kid, but from what I've heard,
he has a bad attitude.
Okay,
he got his attitude sucks.
But to end up at TCU,
of all places,
and we know that coach isn't going to mess around either.
Not Gary Patterson.
And of all places to end up, something's up with that.
But because he was committed to LSU at one point.
Yeah.
Then Georgia.
We actually signed his letter of intent to Georgia.
Yeah, Georgia.
And they released him. So there's something with this kid's character that's not good.
Because Georgia got a lot of clowns.
No doubt.
I mean, they got some people going to act up.
Yeah, no doubt.
For them not to take him.
Something is up, and the way he ended up at TCU makes me wonder too.
And think about this: this is the same guy who was playing the state championship game. His coach had him out. State championship game. So this boy got some issues
over a cell phone.
Yeah, but I think the cell phone may have took it over.
He wouldn't give him a cell phone for the night.
Well, that probably took it over the top. I'm sure he had 15 things leading up to that.
Yeah.
And they, one more thing. He probably told him that 10 times. And he knew the other team quarterback was hurt.
Frank, I don't care. But tell me about baseball.
Where do you want me to start? What do you mean about baseball?
I don't know. Just talk about it so I can say we covered it, and then we'll move to something else.
All right. Well, it's odd. Like, it's an odd season. Right? So the reason they play 162 games is because over the course of 6 months, the cream kind of rises to the top. But anybody can be good for 60 games.
No doubt.
We as in the Texas Rangers finished with you were just awful last year, right? But we did have a 60-game stretch where we won 34 of those. That's enough to win a division in 60 games. So it's kind of a sprint this year, and it's leading to some crazy stuff. People, managing games like they're all postseason games, so pitchers only going 4 innings, and then players aren't being responsible. So the Indians pitcher the other night throws a almost a complete game shutout, goes out to celebrate, and the
Yeah.
Indians are like, wait a second, you got to go home. Like, just kick them off the team, so you can't do that, right? Same thing happened with the Cardinals. They went to a casino. Now 14 of them had COVID. They missed 11 games, so they got to play 55 games in 45 days to catch up. So it's wild, but it's entertaining if you like baseball. And I can understand if you don't.
Well, now, did y'all see where the Giants guy had that Arkansas Razorback moment when the pitcher was up for a no-hitter where the ball hit to left field?
No, we didn't see
the
it.
guys lost the ball. And
Yeah, I saw that.
of course, it was a routine pop-up, kind of like Arkansas. Didn't catch that routine pop-up, by the way.
We didn't see it.
Yeah. That has to suck if you a pitcher.
Yeah.
And you up for a no-hitter and something like that actually happens to ruin your no-hitter.
It happens a lot more than you think, believe it or not.
As Arkansas can tell you all about it.
I just
man.
like watching the highlights. I like watching Mike Trout. He's the best. Tatis.
It's time consuming to watch whole.
But now,
Did you see
Judge, and he's on a
Judge
tear
bad boy.
now, though.
But did you see the contract that they gave? It was a while back. The guy for the Atlanta Braves. What is his name? Kuna Jr.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They got him for a steal. Now he got the $100 million and he hadn't played 150 games.
Yeah.
But that guy contract. I mean, they pimped him. I mean, think about it. They got him locked up the next 10 years.
So how much was his contract? 100
I mean, he
million?
got $100 million guaranteed, but it's going to end up being like 125. But I'm gonna tell you something. He was going to have to do his arbitration years.
Yeah.
You know.
So he was going to become a free agent at 25.
Yeah.
The last two people to do that and be that good were A-Rod and I think he's the only one, right? And he signed for $250 back in 2000. This kid would have been able to
if he'd waited,
make $450 million.
If he'd waited 4 years, he'd have got $300-some million.
Yeah. I mean, you can't scoff at $100 million.
If something happened to him right now, also he's taken care of forever.
Yeah.
You know, Mike Trout, they'd got Mike early. He signed like a 6-year contract, $150 million. But they redone it after he got about 5.
You can't hate on the kid taking $100 million guaranteed.
No.
But on the flip side, I always root for the player.
Yeah.
The reality is every dollar that's not going in his pocket is going into the billionaire that owns the team.
Oh, yeah.
People are like,
Simple as that.
oh, Dak's not worth $35-40 million. Like, that's what the market calls for.
the market.
They're like, nobody's worth that. Well, would you rather Jerry Jones have that money? Because I wouldn't. You know, like, I'm all for a player getting paid.
Arkansas.
Everything is worth what someone will pay for it.
Why Danny's not talking about Arkansas now and Jerry Jones? You know,
Man, can we talk about football? What does Jerry Jones have to do with Arkansas football?
He's alumni. His name was on buildings and stuff like
who
that.
cares? We talking about acts of the game.
And I'm not a Jerry guy, but you said it right. We all know Dak is not, of course, anybody. But at the same time, if the market calls for that, then it is what it is. The only problem I got with Dak, with the contract situation, is the fact that he's the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, which means you're making extra amount of money off the field.
I don't want you're gonna get me in an argument.
You know,
I'm telling you.
I'm ready.
Listen, man. The man is worth what he's worth on the field. You don't say, "Hey, take a discount because you're going to make this money over here." Well, I still have to go work and make that money over there.
That's true. But let me ask you something. If he's quarterbacking the New York Jets, even though he's in the New York market, he's quarterbacking other teams, would he be out front? Because Cowboys are America's team. So he's going to get different things for being a Cowboy. Now, they didn't offer him a contract where they trying to pimp him. The problem was the 4 or 5 year deal. I mean, he got offered $80 million for 5 years. So if you average it out, he still got offered that money. And I think Jerry and them was, what they said, he was willing to pay the second highest guaranteed money ever, out of every quarterback ever. Behind Russell Wilson, it was 107, I think, and Russell had 110. So he got offered a fair contract. You know, not defending Jerry, that's just the truth. He got offered a fair contract. But Dak's smart enough to know, man, if I don't get hurt and I just do what I've been doing for another year, and when they get to where they can't franchise him, he gonna win because he's still gonna go get over $40 million.
Yeah, he's playing his hand.
He's doing the Minnesota quarterback.
I always get frustrated when I hear that because they're like, "Well, LeBron should make $3 million a year, whatever the veteran's minimum is, because he's making all this money off the court." Like, I'm trying not to cuss, but how does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, explain to me why that's such a bad business decision.
Yeah,
that's the same kind of person that tells you student athlete shouldn't be paid because they get a scholarship. Man, come on.
And I'm with you on that argument.
Yeah, same person.
I'm actually with you. It's just that Dak did get offered, second highest money, and it's like, okay, is he the second best? It's just that it's his time.
Yeah.
And now that Patrick did what he did, and Deshaun finna do what he finna do, Dak money is going up.
Yeah, I agree.
Because Deshaun Watson finna get $40 million.
He is, yeah.
I mean, he ain't getting no $40 million.
He gonna get a little bit more.
The way the Houston Texans organization is being ran right
They
now,
have to have somebody
who
out
knows?
front.
He's not gonna get what is Mahomes making?
50.
Yeah.
Oh,
50.
Yeah.
okay. Well, he'll get 40.
Yeah. I mean,
He'll
Think about
get
it, 50.
But that's the case. Then Dak gonna get 40.
Yes.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't get
Yes.
injured.
I mean, because
and if Dak can't win with this team, Dak's not worth $40 million.
No.
facts.
You know?
Yeah, Dak, you're right, Donnie. Dak is gonna get that.
Yeah, he's gonna get 40. That's the case.
Yeah.
And actually, and Dak numbers is better than Deshaun's.
Yeah.
We're running out of time. Let's move over to golf real quick. I don't know, you guys golf fans?
I watch highlights.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, the only thing that makes golf watchable is it's nothing but highlights. If you ever watch a golf tournament, you don't just watch somebody walk around. It's like they're moving you to holes. You're seeing stuff go all the time.
And they putting certain people hitting that golf ball.
yeah.
You
Yeah.
ever notice how a lot of them guys, I didn't even know Phil Mickelson played this weekend.
Yeah.
They putting certain
Let me
people.
tell y'all, if Tiger Woods wouldn't have been like, if he wouldn't have made the cut, they wouldn't have been showing golf yesterday morning. It's because he had an early tee time.
Yeah.
He didn't perform that well, so they played it because his coverage didn't actually start till 2?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but they just showed it because Tiger was in it.
That's true.
You know,
That's how they make good money.
He brings ratings.
That's right.
But I thought
he
it was a
mailed
pretty
it
good
in
golf
big
tournament.
time yesterday too. He
Had-
didn't want to be there.
At
No.
one time,
And he
9
did it,
people were tied
67.
for the lead. I can't. What's the guy's name that won?
Colin Morikawa.
Yeah, I can't
Yeah.
say his last
He's
name.
like 23 years old.
Yeah, he balled out.
He's from the area.
He
played
lost
that course a ton.
$100. He bet against it.
Oh, you bet against him?
It was crazy.
Well, who
bet.
did you bet for?
I would have
That's about to say,
Brooks
come on.
Koepka.
And you know, Brooks, looking at the leaderboard, Brooks knew that he was trying to get inside all them head because he's like, it's nobody's won but
Yeah.
Dustin, and he's the only one once. I mean, he dogged Dustin Johnson out. And I really wanted Dustin to win just because of that.
He should have won. I mean, he hit 14 of 18 fairways. That dude
Yeah.
should have been 12,
Yeah.
13 under. I don't know what happened.
Well, he
They didn't
talked,
show him
he
when
talked
started
bad
playing.
about him. Brooks Koepka did.
I like Brooks because he's making
Yeah.
all the old school golf folks mad at him.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's like the Happy Gilmore of that.
Yeah. One of the golf reporters before his final round of the U.S. Open asked him, "What are you doing in there maxing out on the
Yeah.
bench press before golf?" And he said, "It's just golf," and he just walked off.
Yeah. I tell you what, don't nobody want to try him unless it's that guy you say you didn't like. What's the name?
DeChambeau.
Next to DeChambeau, I get him, but nobody else out there
He
want to
did
try.
try.
Brooks
He
Koepka.
tried. He tried.
Oh, well, he will.
He sent his caddy over there to
Yeah.
tell Brooks, "Hey, refine me." And Brooks approached him on the driving range.
Well, he better be on the driving range. He better not be at the bar.
because he was making fun of him. Brooks
Brooks tough now.
Brooks has been 250 for a while. Bryson just now got those muscles.
Yeah.
He don't know how to do with them yet.
Them boys swole up.
That'd be like me going a couple cycles trying to fight somebody.
Aaron, did I just see some clouds go above our heads or something? What was that? Did I just see some clouds go above our head on here, on the screen? No. No, okay. I put some explosions behind us.
Hey, when you said that, I did. I'm looking at that. I think you talking about the weather.
Let's move on real quick. Give us game day in the news.
Well, it's not really game day in the
Well,
news.
you know
just
what I mean.
some
That's what I wrote
odd
down.
stuff out there. Nothing too crazy, man. So y'all helping somebody move. It's a hypothetical, and and you go through their grandpa's stuff, and y'all find an old hand grenade from World War II. What do you do with it?
I know what I'm doing with it.
The
I
heck
ain't,
away from it.
I'm taking it somewhere, and we're about to have some fun.
Oh, no. I'm not
But
doing no 4th of
you know
July
what?
action.
I know y'all. Well, I don't know if y'all remember this, but a lady's husband died in like Mater Redwater a few years back, and they were moving. She had to move into assisted living, and the kids went in and found like boxes of grenades. Because he worked at the Army Depot, and he would bring parts home with him, just never the entire thing,
Yeah.
but parts here and there, and he had them made, just chilling in the closet.
Man,
They turned those things in. Like, you don't let me find a live grenade.
Well,
I'm not
what
gonna have no
happened
4th of
yesterday?
July
A
deal.
Chattanooga man was helping his grandpa move and found a live grenade from a Japanese grenade from World War II, and he put it in his glove box and drove it to the fire department.
Whoa.
It said, "Help me dispose of this," and they were like, "What? No, man!" Called the bomb squad.
I'd have got away.
Yeah.
Told the right people where it's at and let them deal with it. Yeah, he gonna do some 4th of July action.
Yeah, we're gonna have some kind of fun with it.
All right. On Friday, the National Park Service issued a warning against sacrificing your slower friends in case of a bear attack. So if you're ever being chased by a bear, it says, do not let your slow friend get eaten. You agree with that?
Okay, let the slow friend
That
be
can't
Donnie.
be real.
That's real. It actually happened.
Hey, let me and Mondo
Let
be
that
in the
slow
woods.
friend be
Yeah.
Donnie.
Hey,
Let me and Mondo be in
Hey,
the woods.
ate
Mondo getting
up.
ate up.
I'm telling you
There's no
right
way
now,
Mondo gonna outrun me.
I got some deceptive speed.
I was about to say, which one of us is getting eaten?
Kristen McGarry.
I'm talking about bobbing and weaving through
Man.
trees. Like, don't run in a straight line. That's how you get 8.
I'm
Man.
not the fastest man on this board, but I ain't never been chased by a bear either.
Right.
There's some adrenaline I don't know I
But
got.
Mondo legs don't go so fast. They on so long.
So
anyway.
basically, I'm just gonna push Mondo down.
That's
We're
all you
out.
have to do.
All right.
I think you can outrun them. I think you can outrun
If
Mondo.
a bear come up in here right now, we all had to run the CC's pizza. They gonna be like,
Oh, the CC's?
they gonna be like,
I'll
dude,
a
still got it. Cause I'm finna get out of there.
At some point, I'm just gonna turn around and try to squab with it. See what happens.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm too tired to run, man. Let's get this over with.
I think I'd rather fight that bear than Landon Jackson right now, though.
Yeah.
I saw him
well,
coming out of an Easy Mart the other day wearing his mask. I thought it was. I had to do a double take. I thought it was the villain Bane from Batman. I was like,
No, hey, that's a big kid.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
with a mask on.
Yeah. All right. I think that's it for this. The rest of these things are too crazy to be talking
All right.
about.
So, announcement: we have the couch coming to Texarkana Game Day. We'll see him here Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. Hope everybody enjoyed this. You have Elite Fitness as well.
No doubt.
So you're working with local kids in our area. Mondo, you have a long-standing relationship with schools in our area. Doing
yes.
good. Everybody likes you.
Whoa.
Well, not everybody. That's what I hear.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's gonna be a good time. Football season coming up. Y'all be the go-to guys with sports. And anything y'all want to say?
I'm just,
Hey, just stay tuned. We're gonna be the Caps like
Yeah.
y'all are.
yeah, just glad for the opportunity, man. And I'm sure some people out there wanna hear what we got to say.
Sure they do too. Frank, you got anything?
Yeah. So is this hour just going to be me cracking jokes about Arkansas? Because I'll come on with you every day.
Whoop it.
Every morning. I'll rely over here and just make jokes on Arkansas is good.
So yeah, Frank and I, or at least I will, every now and then, maybe a Monday and a Friday here and there, may hop on with you guys. Looks like it's going to be a fun show. We're excited to have it. But until tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. the couch.
Yes,
sir.
sir.
All right, tune in.
Peace.